Nothing is more exciting than our newborns starting to crawl because it ultimately means that they're developing into walking and running beings. So how do you know your baby's on the right path and has the coordination to crawl correctly? Stay tuned. But first, please spend a few seconds to like our video, subscribe to our channel. If you found this video helpful in any way, please consider hitting the thanks button and donating. Also, our team has worked hard to bring online exercise programs to you. You can find the link to our Revive at Home programs below in the descriptions box. We appreciate your support. I love teaching crawling as an exercise to patients to get them some pep in their step. The coordination required in crawling is the key to correcting one's poor walking pattern. So, as you can imagine, this is a very important part of everyone's rehab as they get better. There are so many ways to crawl. How do you know your baby is crawling efficiently? Here are a few kinds of crawls. Some kids army crawl, some crawl backwards, some don't crawl at all. Sometimes you'll also see them crawling around with one arm or leg that doesn't move quite as far as the other. I call it asymmetrical crawling. So will this mess your baby up, or worse yet, how they function as adults? Will this set them up for injuries? You'll have to watch to the very end. What we want to look out for is asymmetries and imbalances in the way we crawl. Here are some questions to consider. Are there delays in initiating movement? Or lags or sticking points? Let's go to the gym and show you what I mean. Okay, so let's discuss efficient crawling. But before we get to efficient crawling, let's talk about what I typically see, whether it's in adults trying to get them better coordination and back to running and walking with better coordination, or babies, infants that are learning. You can tell a lot about just what is going to develop, where they're going to compensate, what their biases are through the way they walk. So the great, more efficient walkers are going to generally be the better athletes. I've heard from the grapevine that people like Michael Jordan, Bo Jackson, all crawled a lot longer than the 12 months or the 10 months that usually is seen in normal development. Usually they crawl 15 or 16 months. And so those are considered late developers, but guess what? It's actually an okay thing. They're building their core muscles and building their coordination with being more symmetrical in the way they crawl. So we're gonna get right into what I generally see a lot of times is sometimes you'll see people kind of doing this, kind of like a, I don't know, like a stegosaurus or some kind of, but yeah, so you know, they're doing this, or a lot of times they're doing this kind of a sport. You're also gonna see some people who may just like have this would go further than if this was even, it would go here. So it would go like a really far reach with one, and then a really short, far reach with one. And these are like sticking points. I'm gonna show you at the end what you can do if you're a child or your baby, or even if you're trying to relearn how to crawl. But let's talk about the more efficient crawl pattern. The more efficient crawl pattern is all about just having less sounds, less noise, less effort, right? So really it's the timing of this landing, the knee and palm landing at the same time, and this. And you want narrow, you don't want a lot of wishy-washy motion at the pelvis, but it's just like this, right? And if I'm gonna crawl backwards, you can, you know, a lot of people will crawl backwards kind of like this. I wasn't supposed to do that, but that's a more inefficient crawl backwards. But, you know, if I'm gonna go this way, here, if I'm gonna go backwards, it should also be timed the same. And really it should be, if you wanna go fast, it should be the same. And it's a great core exercise in general, but it's a great reset button for a lot of you who have lower back, neck, unconscious movements that we choose and adopt and really make our life a little bit more troublesome. So you can go fast or you can go slow. Remember, it's about landing at the same time. And so if your baby is not doing that per se, you can, the leg that, let's say this one was the one that kind of lags behind. So this one does great, and then they're there, and then they're there. You actually can take that same leg and resist. And then so you can get the baby to resist. So you hold on to this leg, pull on right here, and you just resist.
Pull me. 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 Pull me.
When you resist in, and you can let them kind of, you make a game out of it, right? So you want to resist. That's going to be the goal. And if it's the arm, guess what? That is lagging. Then I would be at the front resisting that. You can make a game out of that. So you want to push that forward, right? So they're really, someone's in the front. If I was the therapist or treating, I'd be pushing my baby this way, right? And just kind of, you can kind of make it a game. So come on, push me a little harder, right? And that's a little bit more of what we can do to get a more efficient crawl pattern back, which then becomes a better gait pattern and running pattern and just overall coordination movement. It's really about timing. You're gonna see the great runners, they time the shoulder blade and the pelvis together, and you can just see it over and over again. So that's gonna be the key to better crawling, and we're gonna get right back to you. The efficient and best way doesn't mean your baby won't grow up normally. I can see the comment storm from the angry parents swirling, telling me I don't know what I'm talking about. But in terms of compensations later in life and how we walk and develop, this could set us up for big pains and possible injuries. So I hope you refer back to this video for many years to come and get the crawling worked on, either as a baby or later as an adult. Hey, better late than never. Let us know your thoughts on our video. Leave us some love or questions in the comments box below. Please like and subscribe. We appreciate your support. I'm Dr. Lin. Remember, we heal smarter, not harder.